to another Incredible Cash show. Hopefully, you guys get good audio. I will bring on our guest soon he pops up. Oh, actually, he's in there, so let's see if he's on. Danny, you there?
Yeah, everything's there.
Bro, you there?
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Okay, we got no video, bro.
There we go.
Oh, there
Can
you
you
go.
hear
There
me?
you go. Now I can hear you good. So we're back to normal.
Okay. Hey, buddy, we're not live or anything, right? We're good.
We're live.
Oh, like we're being watched?
Yeah, we're being watched.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we are live. So
Let me see if I could put.
Okay, I have headphones on now. How's that?
that's better, actually. That sounds really well.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah, sounds
All
a lot
right.
better.
Let me adjust myself.
Yeah, go ahead and fix yourself, man.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm great, man. How about you?
Great. I was just did a set of roll-ups in a windshield. Just rushed through it. I was like, oh, dude, it's 4:45. I got like 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do it. Get my cup
Nice.
ready. Yeah. But anyhow, yeah, I had some things I wanted to ask you off the show, but I guess I
Yeah,
could ask you
definitely. We can do it after the show. That's all good.
That's what I was thinking. You know.
Yeah, we'll
But-
do it after the show.
So how do you do it? How do you start off? So first off, we're on YouTube or
We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitch.
Okay.
So a lot of guys catch the show afterwards, or some of them will jump on. Right now, we got Trip Turner. We got somebody else that said, "What up, family?" That I don't know the name, so I'm gonna.
yeah. Because I told my wife to watch it on WFR. I was like, it should be streaming there. Most likely.
It doesn't stream on WFR.
Oh, it
So
doesn't.
she has-
Oh, okay.
No, she's got to go to my page, or she's got to go to Incredible page, which is a
okay.
public group, so she can go there and she can watch it.
Oh, okay.
WFR has a link for it, so like WFR has a post saying that this is on. So you'll get people from WFR coming on, like you got Trip Turner in here, somebody else is in here.
Okay.
When was the last time you did one of these, or did you ever do one?
I've never done any really. I've done 1 or 2 interviews with El Magic. You know, the Latinos for Life. That's
Okay.
it though. I've done two interviews with them, but that's in Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah, that was in Spanish. It was kind of a little difficult because I'm talking in both languages. So I'm like translating, so it takes me a little bit to kind of get my message across.
Marion, what's up, Marion?
Yeah.
Jason Teasley, what's up, brother?
Oh,
So we
Jason.
got Jason
Hey, buddy.
Teasley here. We got Marion. We got Trip Turner. But man, I'm kind of shocked that I'm your first official like live show.
yeah,
That's cool,
you are.
man.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't really I don't put anything out there. I don't really share much. I recently started sharing some stuff. In the
Well,
past.
I appreciate you coming on, and thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
It is an honor to have you on the show. Like we chatted the other day, I didn't get to really watch you other than kind of seeing you do the Sharpie method for a little bit, and the whole conspiracy about you competing and not competing the second day and
yeah.
stuff. That's really where I found out about you, because I'm still, like I said, new into the industry, only 3 years into it. So it's kind of fun, man. Like I kind of got to know some of that stuff. So
So what's
I
up?
love you. Marion put a comment out like car. Tucker
John
Carson.
Little. Hey, John.
John Little, what's up?
Yeah, Big John. I know John.
Yeah, John's a great
Yeah.
guy. He wasn't at this year's event, but he was at last year. Now, did you attend last year's WFR reunion, or was this your first time?
This is my first time. I did hear about it last year, but I didn't end up attending the event. It was really close. It was close to WFCT, so I had taken a week off, and I was like, oh well,
Can't take 2 weeks off.
I mean, I can, but it's kind of far away, and I just had done an event, so I was like, I'll just save it for next year because I usually just compete in WFCT. I'm used to rules and regulations. Like when we were out on the floor at WFR, I was kind of reverting back to WFCT rules. No talking. You can't use certain things.
Oh, no.
I found myself.
Here on this show alone, I'm going to give you exclusive. Okay, so for all the viewers, I'm going to talk to Rick about having a clause next year that you have to, if you're going to compete, we're talking about the rules and regulations. We're going to put it down in paper and have everybody sign those so we don't have any confusions like we did this year. Especially being, like, hey, do we let it go? Do we not let it go? So we're going to do that. But the twist we want to do on WFR is because we want this competition to be fun. We don't want to be like WFCT. We want it to be rowdy. We want it to be family. Like, you're at the reunion and the uncles and the cousins all picking on each other. So we didn't have a lot of that this year. Last year we had a lot more of it. This year we had very little. But there was some camaraderie going on. People sharing tools and helping each other out. So that was the cool part about it.
Yeah.
But next year I do want to put it in the rules, and I'm gonna get a Rick's blessing on this. Is that if you're gonna compete, you have to either pick somebody that you're gonna sport, or you're gonna have to put somebody down that you want to annoy. And maybe we can give you an extra point if you do your job. Like if you annoy the hell out of somebody, or if you sport somebody. So it could be either way. Like I'm really looking at that. I was thinking about this this weekend, and I'm like, how can we make it a little bit more entertaining and engaging for our competitors? Because you don't want to watch boring competition, man. Like you want to. You want it to be exciting both for the tenters and the viewers. So I don't know, audience, what are your thoughts on it? We got a whole bunch of people that jumped in while we were talking. We got Brian Fell, Eric Moore, Roger. What's going on, guys? Jeremy Swan. That's my thoughts.
I got hazed. I got hazed quite a bit, actually, at the event.
Did you?
But yeah, I did. But it was all fun and games, It wasn't.
That's the whole point, man. It should be. It's not a game show.
Yeah.
But come on, Brian. Come on. It needs to be more fun, right? Don't you think that would be something more fun to kind of like, hey, hackle each other? I guarantee you, I enjoyed last year's WFR competition a lot more than this year, and then I was actually on the floor this year.
Yeah.
And so for me, I think that there should be extra point for that, man. Like I don't know, there's got to be something for it.
I mean, it adds an extra element to work around, But it's real easy to tunnel that out. I mean, it didn't affect me at all. Yeah.
Right. I mean, a lot of people do. So a lot of people see you're more used to the WFCT, more professional, more quiet, no talking.
Yeah.
Everybody that talks about that event, they're like, yeah, it's the oldest event, but honestly speaking, it's also the boringest event.
You know what? It seems boring when you're watching, but when you're in the event, it's not boring at all. It's super intense. It's super intense. What I like about WFCT is the way you tint there isn't how you tint every day. It makes it harder. It eliminates more of the people. Like WFR was kind of gnarly because everyone had the advantage of tinting the way they like to, and then we had plenty of time to mess up and redo a window. So everybody theoretically should be in their element with a peel board. A peel board was strange. I had to keep reminding myself I have a peel board over there. I could use the peel board. And then you guys had the Cadillac peel boards, the Expel ones, you know.
Bro, I gotta give a special shout out to Expel. I gotta give a shout out to Rick Tallman for making that arrangement. Rick really got with Expel,
bro,
and
it was
made that happen.
Yeah,
to have every car with their own peel board, that was really a dream to come true, honestly, for the event, and it looked phenomenal.
And then the type of peel board you guys had, you had 20 of them. And my second round, I had Rick on he was on my other side. So, you know, at some points we were cutting and just kind of locking eyes as we were making our patterns. It was pretty cool. It was a really nice event. Yeah, it was nice.
Maybe we throw in a peel board kiss for the next event.
Sure. I think we even like touched hands or something. We did something funny because he put his hand through the window, and I was like, so it made really things kind of less stressful. I mean, Master P was playing really loud, talking about all the stuff Master P talks about. So it felt like a shop setting when we were competing, you know.
Well, so that's the Rick's vision. Rick's vision on that is that, hey, I want this competition to be like your garage, you know, like listening to music. In fact, he actually doesn't like loud music either. He likes little music, but not loud music, because he told me twice, he's like, hey, bro, we're too loud. Like, turn it down a little bit.
It was pretty loud.
But picking on each other is something that, you know, was encouraged. We didn't get enough of that participation this year, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe if we make it into a rule next year, we'll get more people to pick on each other or something, just to make it more interesting, to, you know, get you on your toes and you know, make sure that you can really tend if somebody's bugging you or getting in your head. You know, so I don't know. Just thought. I haven't even talked to Rick about this yet, but I'm like, you know what?
Actually, when we were there together, because we were round 2, he was right next to me. I actually heard him like, "Hey, fucking speak up, fucking say some stuff." You know, he was kind of encouraging the crowd to say things, and I happened to be next to him too. So
exactly,
you know,
like, I think that's how it should be, man. We got Les Hilton in here. We got Jordan.
Oh, hey, Les.
Shady, what's up, brother?
Yo, Les. Les is a buddy of mine. Yeah, you know, Les is actually a 3-time champion. I don't think a lot of people know that. You know, in automotive, I think he has the most first place in WFCT, Les.
Really?
Yeah, he has 3 first place. And I don't know what years it exactly, but then he has a few in architectural too. Yeah, Les you should probably get him on here too, man. He's interesting.
Well, Les is definitely interesting. I definitely gotta get him on one of these days. Come on, Les, you're in here. How many times you won the championship? And
quite
what years were those?
quite a bit.
We got a lot of great people on here. Like Brian Felt, you know, I know he's been up in there. And I'm just trying to get to know a lot of these names and stuff. I'm bad with the names, honestly. It takes me a while to get to know names. I gotta write them down a couple times.
Yeah, me too. It took me a while, but like, I've been attending the events now since like 2015 was my first. And I kind of, met kind of everyone. Ralph was pretty popular when I first started in WFCT, you know.
Brian Fell says Chris Brook has the most.
Yeah, Chris Brooks. Yeah, Brooks has the most. He has like 8.
Brooks also has been with the IWFCT like since 2006, from what he told me when I was talking to him at the event. He's been at it forever.
Yeah,
almost 20 years.
Yeah, Brooks and Les have the most. Yeah, between the two of them.
Now it's my last name, Cash. I cannot. No
those
way.
Are the those are the guys. You know, when I was a lot younger, those are the guys I would read about in the magazine. It was Les and Chris. Yeah.
Nice. That is awesome, man. But Les is such a cool dude, man. I mean, just
super cool.
You know, cool guy. That's what I love. Even with like Chris Brook, man, like he's really just hung out. Yeah. We chatted for a whole bunch of different times, and it was just like, man, to see you guys, like even you, man, you're so humble. You're so like quiet, like, you know, like I would not. If I just see you or meet you, I would never imagine that you actually won a whole bunch of competitions. Like seriously, bro, you don't throw off that vibe, which is really nice. Yeah. And that's why I say it is an honor to kind of see that. I mean, there are some people that
thank you.
You know that win, but George Jackass.
Yes. Yes, I did. George kicked his ass. Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Les says you got his package.
Yes, I did get the package. Thank you guys so much. I did
There
get
you
it.
go.
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, I still got to do a shout out.
Les
for
is
that.
tied with Chris Brook for the most, but Les has more first, I believe.
Yeah,
That's what John says.
Yeah, Les has three first place.
Wow.
In auto, and I think he did art one first place too. Yeah, Les is a badass. Very badass. But
Danny Sanders is the only one to get perfect score. Man, with 20 years of the competition happening, there must be some crazy records with the WFCT.
Yeah, I think it's just Chris and Les, honestly. Those two.
Really?
Kind of. Yeah, and then Chris is retired. Les is still going strong. And then I missed a few years of competing. I think I missed like two years, but it didn't come out. You know.
So you're going this year. You're going next month in about 3 weeks, right?
Yes, I will be attending.
Are you competing both in automotive and in flat glass, or just automotive?
I'm doing automotive. I am. I'm doing flat too. Yeah, I'm doing flat.
So you're doing both.
Yeah, I'm gonna do both. Why not?
That's what's up.
Yeah,
I said, why not?
Yeah, why not?
You're gonna be there. Why not? Right?
Yeah. Why not do it? I did flat glass one time before, and I was on the wrong window, so I never got judged for that window. And it was a pretty solid window, I remember. But I never did it again. It was a couple years ago. You know, with all the promotions. You know, but yeah. So, obviously we're live. I don't really see who's watching, but we're on Facebook, correct?
Yeah, so right now, I put the comments next to our screen. I'm not sure if you see that or not.
Yeah, I do see
so you got like their names come up. Some of them come up as Facebook because they haven't registered themselves on the show.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So Facebook has a rule that you have to agree to show your name and your profile picture. So if it says Facebook, I have to go on Facebook and see who's that comment was from. That's why I'm looking at two different screens right now. So I'll be looking at you, and I'll be looking over here because I got two screens.
Oh yeah, no, I see it. Yes, I am competing in WFCT. Marion.
Yeah, Marion, he's coming, so he'll be there. Let's say he got a perfect score in 2008 on his Mazda 6. Brian says he's been competing since 2001, so Brian's just saying that he's old as dirt.
Yeah,
I love Brian. Brian's awesome as hell, man. His Scuttle shuttle is awesome tool. If you don't have one, man, you're missing out. I love the one he gave me. It is phenomenal. We handed out a whole bunch at the WFR reunion. I think he gave away a total of 6 at the event.
What are you talking about?
The Scuttle shuttle that Brian Felt made for the kegs. You didn't see it?
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
Bro, he's got a really cool design. He's got nice wheels for it, so you can easily maneuver all over the shop. And it's a really, really phenomenal design that he's done.
Okay, now I didn't get a chance to see it.
Do you have a keg?
Yeah, I have a few kegs, and then I won one at the show. I think Tent King or Keg Kings, I think it was. Gave me the tank.
Oh yeah, because you won first place. You won the one from Rick McIntyre.
Yeah,
from Sun Distributing.
Yeah, Sun Distributing.
Yeah, from Sun Distributing. Okay.
Yeah, I was actually using it just a little bit ago. Right now.
Yeah. He made that for the first place. That was a pretty phenomenal
tank. Yeah, awesome tank. I can put like 110 psi. It holds it.
Yeah. Do you actually use 110 psi, man? That's a lot of pressure.
You know what? I use it as on my peel board.
Okay.
So my peel board in the van. So now I have a designated tank for just the inside of the van because I used to have to take my other keg in and out to swap.
Brian asks if you're gonna be at the WFCT. Yes, Brian, he will be at the WFCT.
Yeah, just creating.
I will be at the WFCT.
Dude, everyone, it's just one of the things is yeah, I will be there. I'll be there. I don't know what round or where I'll be, but I'll be there.
Ooh, we got the film trainer entering the conversation.
Marco.
Welcome, Marco.
Marco. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Hey, so did you figure out who turned off the lights at the
No.
competition? Is that still a mystery?
So no, so the mystery on that is
What was
nobody
that?
turned off the light. Nobody turned off the light in our hall. They
Oh,
have a
okay.
master board that controls all their halls.
Oh,
So
okay,
apparently
yeah.
somebody was working at and didn't realize that our hall was open.
Mm.
So when that happened, because the second time it happened, I was standing right next to the light and there was nobody near it. And it turned off. So I got pissed. I called the coordinator and she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, your hall wasn't locked. It was still
Oh, no.
open on the boards and there's somebody working on it." And that's what happened. I was like, "Oh my god, dude, it happened 2 times." And the second time, like, because first time it happened, I was on the floor, and I ran towards the sign, and I'm like 10 feet away. There's nobody next to the light switch, and it goes off again. And I'm like, what the hell? I get on with the coordinator. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" It's a real sweet lady.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. All our electrical is connected, and we didn't lock your hall so that we don't mess with it. I'll get it right on it." And she got it right on it. I mean, Athens was phenomenal hosting.
It was.
the event.
It was a fun hosting. I liked it. I really liked it. It was
Yeah,
kind of small,
I mean,
medium sized, but
Yeah,
It was
so
really nice.
like they have a hall right next to it. Like, so if you grow in Athens, we have space to double. But the whole homey feel, the small town, all the restaurants and all the afterward hangouts,
yeah.
and even the event people, man, they were really cool. They were like
They
really
were.
chill. They let us do a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
even with all the people parking incorrectly a whole bunch of time.
Yeah.
And they still were really really cool and chill about it. So definitely
It
do
was.
love Athens, man. Like,
It was.
if we don't get Chattanooga, which is Rick is saying Chattanooga is next level up, we will definitely be at Athens. We are also
Athens.
looking at one other place because of dates to see what we can do. So
Okay.
we'll have some announcements by this Thursday giveaway, maybe even before that. But this Thursday's WFR giveaway, we'll have the final announcement on where and when the 2024 WFR reunion will be.
Okay. Yeah. Athens was really nice. You had all those hipster spots next door, and then the hotels were real close. It was a nice event.
Johnny Blades in the house. What's up, Johnny? Welcome.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny.
The creator mind of the Scoto show. I missed on some of these comments, just trying to catch up on it.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So
It's quite a bit. Love that hippie guy. Yeah, Marco took me to the coffee shop a few times. We had coffee there, and it was nice. You wait 10 minutes to have a cup made coffee, but it was nice. They took their time. They pressed it, brothelled up the foam.
I didn't get to experience it, man.
No, it
I
was really good.
I from 7 to like whatever time after everybody left and went to sleep, I was still at the damn place, like finishing everything up. So I didn't even. I gotta give a shout out to Ryan Wilcox's wife, Steph. She's the one that actually fed me lunch because
Oh, damn.
I didn't even have time for lunch. I went out one time to go grab a couple of little things, but the first day she got me lunch, so it was like awesome to have such a sporting team, man. Like that
Yeah.
I love the whole reunion, man. The reunion was just so phenomenal. So many good things.
You do get carried away. You start to walk around and you're talking to people, and before you know it, you skip lunch and it's like 3:00 and you're like, oh shit.
Look,
Yeah.
Marco's got you an open invitation. He'll take you anywhere.
Where we go? Okay, I'll take you. Marco's a good guy. I love Marco.
So there you go. Marco's like he's putting it out there, man. He's gonna take you wherever you want to go.
We had some good times together. When we see each other at the event, we usually hang out. He's usually working the booth though, so it's hard for him to get away. Okay. But yeah. So Mondays you have off, Cash, or do you work?
No, man. I had so I had 2 cancellations, but then I had 3 walk-ins, and because we had 2 cancellations, I let go my other guys. I'm like, go home. I don't have anything, And then the reason I texted you like, hey, maybe I'll be a little late is because I had 3 walk-ins come in within like 45 minutes back to back to back. So I was just kind of doing those by myself, and I knocked them out pretty quick, but it was fun. I hadn't done a ProMaster van. I done a Mercedes one, but I was thinking the ProMaster is gonna be similar, where it's gonna have the panel where I can just pop it. But I didn't realize the ProMaster doesn't have a section. It's just
all the way around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the way around. So, and this guy was a heavy smoker, so he had junk all over the place.
Yeah.
So first time I did the door, I kind of got a little contamination on the bottom end, but I kind of knew it. So second time around, what I did was I put a little sheet on the panel just to not have it, because I did a 2-stage. I'm not even sure how would you guys, how you pop the whole seal out and do a bottom load on that.
Well, you pop off the bottom and just let it hang, and then you work your way around what's there.
Well, it was first time I was by myself, and like it was like I had cars. I'm like, I'm not playing with it. 2-stage, play it safe. Play it safe, get it out, and move on to the next one. But yeah, that was like I honestly thought it was a lot similar to the Sprinter vans. Because the Splinter vans, I've done a couple of those, and they're popping those panels are not that hard.
Yeah,
they're very easy to do.
Yeah, same as the Transit, not too bad.
Yeah, so I work, man. I work 6 days a week, even though I'm my own boss, so I can take off whenever I want to. That is the good benefit about it. But I have a good team. I have a team that I can rely on, that I can leave, and they'll run things. So on my tent, my team is not quite there yet, but on my tire side, my team is very, very strong. So I'm working on my tent side to get to that point.
Well, you know what they say, there's no I in tent.
There's no I in tent. So are we spelling it TENT like how every time you do a speech, it always writes it down as tent, like TENT. It doesn't write it down as tent.
Yeah. No, it's because most guys, I don't know. For me, I work alone for the most part. I don't really work with anybody.
Marco, I had a trainer come out, but we did a PPF. We didn't do the tent. So I'm probably gonna. Probably beginning of next year, I'm probably gonna get Marco, plead and beg him to come out and give me a week's worth of training that he offers, and hopefully streamline my process a little bit better. But there's a couple changes I want to make to the shop before I do that. But yeah, Marco, we had an Expel guy come in, spend I think it was like 3 or 4 days for the PPF training. And he said we looked pretty damn good. But at the same time, we didn't have any tin at that time because we were training PPF. But, thank you for that, Marco.
Yeah.
There's the I in win. There's a lot of comments going on where I missed out. So I'm just trying to catch up on some of this stuff. Danny, did you use music while... So I guess the question for Jordan is, did you use music while you were tinting? Did you have headphones on?
No music. No, not at all.
So you totally just zone out?
Yeah, I just kind of get in the zone. I don't really plan anything. I kind of just leave it to the flow, Wherever the wind blows as well, that's what I do.
So I think we need to restart the show because we didn't do a proper introduction. We didn't do a backstory.
No backstory.
None of that stuff.
I thought
we got right into it.
I thought we were going to talk.
That's why I say let's get on like 7:45 so we could talk before the show.
My bad. Yeah, my bad.
We both were running a little late and we jumped right into the show. Okay. Because I didn't want to delay the show. So let's restart. So let's start from beginning. Okay. Guys, let me introduce you to Danny Munoz. Danny, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your history on window tint, how long you've been doing it, and who you with and what you do?
All right. So my name is Danny Munoz, obviously. I started tinting in '07. Uh, I've been competing since 2015. I've podiumed 4 times in WFCT and then did the first place with WFR just recently. I've been mainly tinting. I guess I've been doing a lot of luxury cars now for quite a bit, some time, and then doing mobile at the same time, working in a shop. But it's kind of hard. Where do I start? My background is high school. I got work experience, so my last 2 periods in senior year, I got a part-time job at a motorsports company. So I knew, like, remember we were talking yesterday, I know how to do mufflers, tires, alignments.
Right.
So I was the perfect apprentice for that shop that just opened up. And
Nice.
so I had my part-time work there, and they had a window tinter who rented a bay there. So when I wasn't busy, my boss was super cool. When there was no work, he wouldn't send me home. He'd just say, hey, run the clock out till 5, work on your truck or whatever. But I'd just watch the tinter. And he always told me, I'm not going to teach you, Danny, but you can watch. I'm like, all right. So maybe 6 months passed. And he ended up selling his business and retiring because he was an older gentleman. And I was working in the bay, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and he gives me his toolbox, his Craftsman toolbox, the metal one, the classic one. He's all, I'm done doing. Yeah, he's all, I'm done, Danny. I'm not doing this no more. You can have my toolbox. I have some film. I'm done. And so I set up my mom's garage and just started working on friends' cars and got decent enough. So I got a part-time job at the tint factory in Loma Linda. And that's where he kind of refined me, because I was just, what I watched. And then I had a couple pointers where he kind of trained me. It was like 1 month of just straight up tinting 12 hours a day at that shop. Yeah, dude, it was pretty gnarly. And then from there I started at a Lumar shop in like 2009. And then, I met the rep in like 2015. And I told her, I was like, hey, I want to compete in the competition. Do you guys sponsor people? And she goes, yeah, we sponsor people. And then she signed me up. And then from there, that's kind of how I met everyone at Eastman. Because in 2015, I think I placed 4th. Or I tied for 3rd.
So your first year, you went for 4th place.
Yeah. It was like 120 tenders or something. Yeah. And it was in Reno. The WFCT Reno was really fun at the Atlantis hotel. But from there, just started on my own doing honest tint in 2016, and then from there, just still competing every other year and kind of doing my own sub work, And then recently, I'm trying to get more in my retail side, more love, water that garden a little more than I have.
So, gotta ask you the question. You said when you first started, the guy had a bay.
Yeah.
But when he left, was he the one that trained you, or was somebody else that trained you when you went to the other shop?
I just watched him. So just because he didn't want to train me, he's like, hey, you can watch. I don't really have the patience to teach anyone. And then when he gave me his tools, I already had my own tools at the time, but then he gave me his, which I had a nice pro set. And then I got a job at a local shop in my area. And then
so that shop, it was the ones that trained you.
Yeah, that's where I kind of really got a professional. The gentleman who trained me, Caesar, he was really good. He was a master installer. So I kind of got the good habits in early. Yeah.
Nice.
If it wasn't for him actually taking his time to be like, hey, Danny, you're doing this off. I really do appreciate him taking the time to, take me under the wing. Even though I only lasted at his place for a month, because it was back to back. It was pretty gnarly.
Well, we just have a Caesar that's just said, thanks, Danny. Is that the same Caesar?
Yeah, Caesar Vasquez. He's probably out here.
Yeah, that's him. That just said, thanks, Danny. He's on here. He's watching you. So that's your mentor right there. So that's the guy that actually trained you.
Yeah, he was the one who was my mentor first starting off all those years ago. Yeah, 07.
That's what's up.
08, yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and got my funny. But one of the things is like I've always held myself accountable for all the work that I put out. Because as an installer, we know what we let out. Doesn't matter. I can tint in the dark, and I can tell you where I fucked up. You know, can I cuss? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where I messed up, and that's one of the things where like I have this thing where I have to redo it, and I have to dig it off. I don't care if it's a little thing. I have to make it right. And I think I've always had that philosophy. It doesn't matter if it's a 1984 Nissan that's falling apart. It's going to get a bitch and tint job. If I'm doing it, it's going to be fucking perfect. It was as close as perfect as we can get it. And that's my and that's my philosophy for every car. So like, I mean, once you start just holding yourself accountable, even when no one's looking, your work starts to just, you know, there's no other way than to make it as clean as possible.
Damn, we got one of the judges in the house now. Ross is in here.
Raw.
Ross says that's awesome, man. He was one of the judges.
Oh, he was? Ross. I think I met Ross. I think I met him towards the end. Yeah, the judging was really, it was brutal judging at WFR, man.
See, brutal. I had a couple people come up and say the same thing, but here's what you gotta look at. But here's what you gotta look at. You guys were all so goddamn good. They had to be brutal to decide who was gonna be better than the other. You know, I had a lot of guys like, hey man, you guys are picking on the littlest thing that nobody would ever say anything. Well, god damn it, because you guys make it so damn tight.
Yeah.
You know, and to get a 98 means you got 101. Honestly speaking, like on any average day, that's 101 if you got a 98 in there, which you got back to back, man. Which was phenomenal, man. It was awesome to see. See, when I put your score in the second time, I was like, well, actually, the day before when I put your score in, they're like, oh, he's not competing, and we're like, dude, this guy's got the highest score. Why he not competing? Oh, he had a family emergency. He's got to go back. So let's talk about that because we left that open. What happened there? Because what we found out that evening was when we were doing the final tally, we were told that Danny had to fly back. And Danny had to go back home. And I was like, hey, we can still keep it open. And then that's when somebody's like, no, bro, he's from California. He had to fly back. He ain't coming back tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe you're a local guy that you went home and you're gonna come back.
Yeah, no.
Kind of like what Kyle was doing with his fucked up bag, driving 45 minutes
Kyle was
back and forth.
He's like, I just had cortisone. I just had a cortisol shot or something like that.
Kyle, if you're watching, bro, I love you, but Kyle, you're fucked up for going back and forth with
No. And then he drove his bike. He had I think it was his Harley, and he had a fucked up because like, dude, like Kyle's down, dude. He's so down. And then he had his wife behind him, and I was like, "Holy shit, his back is." And he tinted like that. On top
of that, he still hasn't got his surgery, and he's gonna be at WFCT, and supposedly he's getting his surgery after WFCT.
Yeah, he did mention about.
Kyle's a beast.
Yeah, he is a beast, man. When he did teams, but what happened was, I have 3 kids, so my wife, we have a puppy, so the dog rushed into the house and. He has like a 16-foot wingspan. He's just like a clumsy, big dog. And he happened to trip my wife and broke her toe. So so she broke her toe. It's huge, swollen. And I felt bad because, you know, I have my 3 kids. They're all under 6 actually. So I was like, you know, it's not really a big deal. The competition, I can just go and handle stuff. But we were able to get her mom to kind of go help her out. You know, and now I felt bad. I was like, I'm over here having a good time. And I was like, you know what? I can go home. It's not a big deal. But my buddy was with me, and because we were going to do teams. And I was like, you know, I don't know if I'll do teams, but let me, I'll see you down at the show, and we'll sign up for teams if I end up staying. But he went ahead and told everybody I was leaving. And then I went and saw Rick, and I was like, hey, Rick, I'm going to sign up for teams. And Rick signed me up for teams with his wife. And then I was told that, hey, dude, you got taken off the list. I ran into Lawrence at the bar, and Lawrence is like, yeah, KASH took you off the list, and yeah, dude, you're not competing. He's all, by the way, I didn't know I had the highest score yet. And he goes, by the way, you had the highest score too. And I was like, oh shit, no way, really? But But yeah,
Bro,
that's
so I got hell, and we all got hell for that because they're like, why the fuck are you guys taking off the best score guy and he's not competing? Bro, because we got told that he's not staying, he has to go. So we can't leave an open spot. So we're filling that in.
Yeah, I know.
And which was even more fucked up at that time was that because in this next spot up, we had 4 people tied at the same score, and it happens to be that their ruling last year was that it's gonna, if it's same tie, we're gonna go alphabetically, and it happens to be that alphabetically Rick Tallman gets kicked out. I think we lost Danny because I think he's frozen.
All
right,
back? I think so. Music now.
Yeah, there you go. You froze up for a second.
Rick, I did get the package, Rick. I did get it. The blade loader. Thank you so much. I did get the blade loader. I see the comment. Hey, Rick. But anyhow.
Ross's head still hurts from looking at all those windows. Bro, so the second day, I had the biggest migraine. So I get migraines all the time. So I had the baddest migraine because I worked the day before setup, so apparently I end up mostly doing all the boots taping up and everything, but mostly by myself.
Oh damn!
Which was my stupidity a little bit because I was just trying to get things done. The next day, I was there hella early before everybody.
Yeah,
and
I think I had seen you.
Yeah, so like, and every day I was there like hella early, but the second day I get crazy migraine, and I'm like asking everybody for drugs. I got 4 people give me drugs, and I took all 4 of them.
Yeah, like
I had Marissa give me something. I had Eric Devash give me something. 2 other people, I don't remember who it was, but 2 other people gave me some stuff, and I just kept on taking because I was just like, my migraine was just blowing crazy, and I'm like, dude, I have to hold this thing down.
Yeah, migraines.
I promised Rick that I'm gonna hold it down for him. I can't let him down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just give me like, I think Marissa gave me something that was just it was a powder. She's like, you don't even need water, just chug it right down. I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Eric comes like, here's Advil, man, or Motrin, one of those. I was like, whatever, just give me, man. I need something because my migraine was just so bad. But anyways,
it's pretty gnarly. I usually read the bottle twice before I take my vitamins. Can I take this?
Well, sure, see, the thing with me is I'm like my pops. My pops is very timed on his eating, so he's built the same setup with us. Like lunch is between 12 and 1. Like you don't go past that. And when you're working for yourself, 80% of the time you're past that because you get busy with customers. You don't take lunch like employees take lunch. Mm-hmm. If you got employees, their lunchtime, they're gonna go take lunch.
Oh, they bounce. Yeah, they bounce. Yeah. They're gone for an hour.
You're a boss. You may not have lunch until 8 o'clock that night. It happens. So that's where a lot of my migraines come from. Is that when I don't eat on time, it messes up. Or if I overthink.
Yeah, I'm really busy throughout the day, so I actually pre-plan my lunches where like I take 10 or 15 minutes to eat really quick, and I don't buy lunch. I actually usually have it made, or if I don't have my lunch made, I usually ISO Pure Mass Gainer. It's just a quick protein shake. I keep it in my car, so if like I don't have time to get something to eat, I can just get like 800 calories pretty quick because I get really busy. I'm a one-man team, so like I'd rather make an extra couple $100 than eat. My philosophy.
We got some Aussies over here, man. We got some Australian people in here.
Yeah.
What's up, Graham? It was a nice meeting, Graham, man. Graham's an awesome dude.
Okay, I might have met some people. I'm not sure. I'm not too good with the names as well.
Graham was decent, not as big as me, but probably close. But he had the funny Australian accent.
Oh, okay.
Other than Boyd,
Yeah, I mean, it was really. I didn't see the performances at the show. I know Magic performed, and the Tint Sheriff had like a skit. I missed the skit they did, like the
Bro, when the entertainer, the guy that came in, that was a surprise by Eric, and I was told that there was gonna be a surprise. I just wasn't told what it was. Bro, I was punching in my laptop all the numbers for everybody, trying to get the next competition going, and while the whole thing was going on, and I'm trying to look like, because I was away from the stage, so like my thing was sideways, and I'm trying to look for my right eye, like what the hell's going on, especially when they jumped on the damn
the trailer. Yeah.
on the trailer, and I'm like, and then Carlos going with his fire. I'm like, oh my god, I see the fire, and the only thing I can think is, fuck, the event people are gonna come in and complain and shut us down. Like fire marshal's gonna shut us down.
Oh yeah,
because we didn't get no authorization for that. So it was totally like, it was like, oh my god, it was unreal. It was just like, we're like, oh, I was freaking out. I was like trying to hide, like, hey, I hope security doesn't come or they don't shut us down. But apparently, Rick said the event manager was there and they actually liked the show. But I did get told after that, hey, no more fire. Like, no more fire. I was like, we good. That was it.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I missed it. I saw the videos or clips afterwards. Yeah.
Did you hear security when they were on the trailer with the flamethrower? No, what happened? She was calling for backup.
She was calling for backup. Oh man, yeah, it looked pretty gnarly because they had the smoke and the trailer's pretty tall. You could have got hurt, but overall, it was a nice. I imagine we kind of got a small, intimate feel of that competition because it was really nice. It had some. It felt very organized, and the fact that it was set up kind of like I would do a competition like that for installers. That's exactly how I would do it. Peel boards, enough time to mess up and remove door panels, and because there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to remove the seal. At WFCT, you're not allowed to. I think someone said you were back in the day, but that's not the case. But all the cars went back together just fine. I don't think anyone had trouble returning their rentals.
No. One thing we made sure was that everybody had insurance on it. First,
yeah. What's funny, Cash, is the rental that I ended up on finals. Dustin and I were. That was the car that Dustin rented, and he picked me up from the airport. And so that was the car I ended up on finals. Was the car that we drove in there. So when we finished the award ceremony, we jumped into the car, which it was all humid and muggy in there because it had just been beat to shit with all the water. Dude, the dash lights were on, Cash.
Oh shit,
dude, all of them. It was Christmas lights. Just fucking everything was on, and probably about halfway to the airport, everything turned off. Yeah, it dried. Yeah, dude.
So it's a good thing the airport was a little further out.
Further out, yeah, because we got to the gas station and we turned the car off and on, and then everything cleared. Yeah, it was perfect. So
that's awesome. Yeah,
it's just ironic.
Big shout out to Dustin and the whole Eastman for letting us borrow their car, because we ran. The second day, what happened was we were gonna cut it short at 22 people or 20. I forget the numbers, 22 or 24.
For teams.
But yeah, for teams, so the rule was like the top 10 is going to get paid, but only top 9 was going to go up. So the guy that was number 10, he's like, hey, you got another car right there. You got space for another car. And then we're like, that car is leaving because we had a car that left early or something happened. But he arranged one of the cars to be there for the next 2 days. And one of those cars was Eastman. The sale guy actually had to leave a day early, and he left the car behind. So, Eastman, big shout out to them for doing that. We weren't supposed to put the pressure on the vendors like that, but we were originally supposed to get 10 cars, supposedly all Toyota Camrys, And when it came down to picking up the cars or getting confirmation a week early, they're like, we can only give you 6. And that's when we reached out to some of the vendors, and then we had a couple vendors say that they were going to be able to bring the cars in, but then they were like, oh, hey, we're not able to get a car, we're able to get an SUV, or we're not able to get a car. So like it was kind of like a last minute thing. So next year we have plans to not let that happen. But anyway, it still turned out really good because we got just 2 cars. We got Altima or Camry, 2 of the easiest car to kind of do, with their own little problems, and it was quite fair for most people because they got to choose. They randomly got the car. They didn't get to choose the car, but it wasn't like 5 different models. It was just like two different models. So you either had the Altima or you had the Camry.
Yeah, I think it was pretty fair for the most part.
Yeah. So,
but it was good though. It was funny. The car I drove to there was the car ended up on finals, and then we got in there and.
Well, maybe you were the one that turned all those lights on, man. We never know, right?
Well, you know what? They did the front windshield. Whoever did the windshield on that car,
Right. I'm pretty sure they didn't use Soul Grow because they were in competition. They were like, okay, let's just get this shit and get it going. But the cool thing is, it was a Camry and an Altima, so most of the stuff, those Japanese will handle it. Now, if you had a BMW or one of these other cars, it would have been a whole different nightmare.
Yeah, in teams, I would have won in finals because I think we had the highest score coming out of teams. Our team had the highest score. I think we had like a 98 something. And then the second round, it would have been nice if our scores rolled over because I think we would have had a higher percentage towards the end.
Right. So this rollover was for the individuals, not for the teams. So
it would have been nice because I think if we had the rollover, we probably would have had enough points to kind of keep it up there, But the windshield, man. I didn't get to do the windshield in finals. I think that would have been fun because I've never been able to do a windshield in a final event because windshields are my favorite thing to do in tint. Like I love tint.
Here's Rick with it. He's like, no rollovers on teams.
I know, Rick. Well, it makes
Rick don't hold back, man. He'll let you know how it is.
Qualifier team. Yeah, it was really fun though. Teams Cash, I really enjoyed teams. Teams was cool because when you get people who are like, we're all professional, we kind of read each other's steps without talking. It was really cool and neat. That when my team, we were just in sync, kind of. But we never really worked with each other ever, but we kind of knew the song and dance. And he was on one side, I was working on this side. My other team member was on one side, and I was cutting out patterns. And we had a good flow. It was interesting.
In my only watching a few competitions, so this was probably my 3rd competition that I attended and watched. So the biggest thing I saw in teams in any competition, whether it was WFR or tenor battles, it's all about communications. So the team that works, however they're communicating, whether it's silently or whether it's verbally, but the team that works smoothly usually ends up really well. So like, for example, the Expel team with Marco was on there, the 3 Amigos, those teams were really uniformed. Your Eastman, both teams on the Eastman teams, they were really uniform. They were really quiet. Like that team was like mouses working, doing their thing.
What we did was we all planned before the event. So we all talked of what we would do, So when we got on the floor,
I gotta pick up on Nick's comment. Yes, Roger, you're gonna have half the people not show up just because of that comment right there. There are some diehard tinters. If you mention a VW or a Volvo, they do not want to.
Yeah, that's that is true. When I used to work at a shop, that was the cars the guys would always tell me, like, Danny, just you take on the VW. You take on the Volvo. I was always getting the harder cars. They're all the same. So not a big deal.
I've done a handful, and luckily, thankfully, knocking on wood, I haven't really had any major issues with any of those.
No.
I guess it's because so many people make a big deal of it, and you're so cautious on those cars. I always give myself extra time whenever I get like a Passat or a Jetta or anything like that. Especially, I know that the bottom back window is gonna have the extra tight space that
Yeah,
I'm
4
gonna
inches.
either use a tail fin or something, a unique tool. I love using the tail fin. I don't know if you use that tool or not,
No,
but
no, no.
my tenders don't like using that. They feel like weird with it, but that was me in the beginning. But now I've got to use it a couple different times, man. I'll go with that bad boy. That's probably the quickest tool, even faster than the bulldozer for me, to lay the bottom down with that the tail fin, just because it's so flexible and rubbery. It's just it gets it down without creasing
Mhm.
that bottom
Well,
down. So
yeah, the thing with VWs, I don't know if it's like the coating on the glass, but in my experience with it, you have to just squeegee. Well, I use extra slip on back windows, and then you have to squeegee out the water really quick because the defrosts are kind of thick on that. I don't know. I just the faster you squeegee that water out and everything slips out, it tends to work out smooth. You know. But all cars are pretty easy. Yeah. You know,
with
one.
Dustin, I love the
That's
green tail fin.
oh, the green one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
don't
green
use-
tail fin, man, definitely.
Mm.
One of my favorite tools to now use. I
Yeah,
had it
yeah.
in my toolbox for a year and a half, I would say. Only used it once because I probably didn't know how to use it. And then I
Mm.
saw somebody use it on a video, and I learned like the way they were kind of doing it. And I think it might have even been Matt that did it on a Detroit 10 studio.
Yeah.
One of his videos that he showed how to use that tool, either that or Rick McIntyre. So I forget
Yeah,
which one.
that tool is good for like the Jaguar XJF, the one with the third brake light. That's the only time I ever used that green tool. It's just on
Really?
that car. Normally, because it has a really tight back window, the XJF. But I normally don't use it. But you need Teflon tape at the very end. You
Yeah,
know,
Teflon
the
tape
Teflon
definitely. Bro,
you do.
like
You need
Teflon
Teflon.
tape on a lot of those. Well, not on the green, not on the tail fin. I don't use Teflon tape. I use it like there's a green one that's like the bulldozer, but it's a thinner.
Yeah,
That's
I've
the one
seen
I
it.
use. I use the Teflon tape on that. So that tool I use for a lot of time. Like if you got a little finger left and you just need to. Uh,
Not just
Margo with the comment of the night.
yeah. All cars are easy for Danny. No, I mean
That's George. George
George.
is saying that.
George
Yeah.
El Chingon. Is that George
Yep.
El Chingon? Oh, okay. He's the man. Oh, okay. I have some cars that are difficult. They're not all easy.
So you
it's
said
gonna be a
lately
smartass.
all you work on is luxury vehicles. So is that
I'm
the
You know what? I wouldn't say luxury, but most of the time I'm doing like mostly Teslas and Porsches. No, actually, I actually recently let go of my Porsche account, so I'm not really doing that many Porsches, but mainly Teslas and like Lucids for the most part.
So how do you like doing the Lucid? I haven't done a Lucid yet, so
Mhm.
like I had one scheduled, but the guy actually flipped the car in 4 days, made $30,000. When Lucid first started coming out, he pre-booked it, got the Lucid. He got the Lucid on Monday. He had a schedule install with me on Thursday, and calls me up Wednesday saying, "Hey, bro, I sold it." And the funny thing was, he was my insurance agent, so I know it wasn't a BS.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Bro, I just made 30 grand on this thing in 3 days." Like, cause
Wow.
he had a dealership that found out that he got a Lucid Air, he got delivery of it, and they were like, "Hey, bro, we have buyers waiting for this shit. Would you be willing to let go of it with some extra cash?" And he got 30 grand, bro. Like, just because there were people that were impatient wanting to get that car. And I believe this was last year. So I was supposed to get it. I put it on my Facebook, like, "Hey, I'm gonna do the Lucid." And the day before, he's like, "Hey, bro, I'm so sorry, but I can. I sold the car, so I'm not gonna need the tint on it. I was like, damn, bro, like that would have made a great video and a
Yeah.
great social media thing.
Yeah,
But
I've probably done about 10 or 15 now. Um,
so, what's the
it,
secret on those? What's the thing to watch out? What is the
well,
good and the bad on it?
honestly, the easiest window on there is the quarter window.
Okay.
Every window on there is a paid. It's kind of gnarly. The defroster thick. The back window's pretty curved. And what I noticed from doing many, sometimes the dash is on the back window. The dash is touching the glass really hard, tight, and then some there's space. So you're gonna have that issue where the dash isn't really consistent. At the windshield, I've done probably like 6 or 7 of the front windshields. Those are basically, it's a Model X windshield. So you got one of those. It's probably on another few times harder than a Model X because now the windshield visor is on the glass now. So you have a circle. You have 2 circles on the glass where the windshield visor mounts and then where it clips.
Mm.
So they do come apart. I think it's a T25. So you got to work around that. So it's a pretty gnarly car to do. The windshield, I'd be, yeah, the windshield's pretty gnarly, dude. I would definitely charge what you charge. And the doors, they do come apart. I take them apart. I just work around it. So it's basically, it's frameless glass, but the door is not frameless. Does that make sense? Because it's frameless like a Tesla, but it's not frameless. So when it opens,
because it has that front, right? Like the front part that has that deep like panel that goes that you got to get under.
So yeah, but it's a part of the door. So when you open the door, the glass doesn't just separate from the panel.
Right.
The panel comes with it. So it
right,
looks,
exactly.
It looks fucking frameless, but it's not. It's a pretty gnarly car. I would definitely just schedule that for the day. Maybe something else. It takes me like 2 hours to do the Lucid. Just the sides and rear. About 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on that rear dash. And I've been hand cutting them lately. I don't think I've used anyone's patterns for it.
Really?
No, I just because I hand cut it, I know where it's gonna fit, and I know the top edges are real tight. You know, the computer cut patterns sometimes are a little wavy, and, you know, but it scale to 1 to 10. I'd say it's like a 9, at least. It's up there, Cash. It's pretty up there, but it's nothing that you can't get around. It's just gonna take you a little longer. It's not that it's super hard. It just takes more time. That's all it is. A little more time, more slip.
Nice.
But make sure you charge. Yeah, make sure you charge. Make sure you charge. And then the new BMW 7 Series. I don't know if you've seen the i7.
I've seen it. I haven't seen it in person, but I've read and I've saw a lot of different comments and posts about it. All weird, especially with the screen on there. So
Dude,
how do you deal with that?
The sunroof had a screen. It had a flat screen, and it's on a railing. I posted it on my Instagram. So I just covered it up with a towel, and as long as the sunroof's panoramic, and the thing with panoramic sunroofs is there's not much room, but as long as you cut it perfect all the way around, maybe just a snitch smaller, so when you install it, it fits perfect, no fingers, you know. But it has to be an exact cut, that i7, yeah. And then cover up that computer, because the railing, it is a little gnarly, you know. There's a lot of little meticulous tinkering that's going on when that screen folds down, you know what I mean? I don't know what they were, and then it's a sunroof, the glass, like, so the screen folds up into the glass, and the screen is literally like an inch away from with the sun fucking hitting it. I don't know how that's gonna age. We'll see with time. You know, the i7s. I think cars, from what I'm noticing, is they're getting harder to do.
They're getting harder, and they're getting cheaper material and crappier to deal with. You're a lot likely to damage shit on newer cars than you are with older cars.
Glass scratch is easy. So the people getting into this industry with the new cars that are coming out, I always think to myself, like, man, you know, if someone doesn't really have a mentor to kind of work around burning electronics and scratching glass and the type of laminates that you deal with, you know, it's like these new guys, they're gonna It's gonna be
exactly.
it's gonna be a learning. It's gonna be a learning curve. That's for sure. Because these new cars, I always think like, damn, dude. Like I've been doing this a long time. I know what to do. But like someone who's just did a 3-day course, like okay, now you can go go work at a BMW dealership, and they give you the old body style 7 Series, and I mean the training course is it's hard. It's the hard one to cover because all cars are a little different, especially with the more higher end cars. You got to cover the trunks. The Mercedes, the C class, any class, like you got to soak rope the back window. I'm sure people already know this, but if you don't soak rope that back window in a Mercedes C class, the new ones, the brains burn out. And it's never happened to me. I've had friends it happened to, and it's like
Yeah, I would literally turn down 2 C class because of those issues.
See,
I don't want to deal with it.
It's like 1600, 16 or 18.
Yeah, but it wasn't even also that. The problem that I was also seeing was that you can't even get that thing for like 2 months. Like Mercedes don't have it, and the problem isn't the paying for it, which is a problem. But the problem also then is that the customer's got to wait 2 months for it, and then the customer's so frustrated with that situation that they're gonna give you such a bad review. And right now, everything is about reviews. As a business owner, like I'll give you an example. We had a commercial vehicle on Saturday come in and get 4 new tires on. Recommended to get alignment, didn't get alignment, but today comes in and say one of my tire bust, and commercial tires don't have road hazard warranty on it, and he literally bust the tire into 3 pieces, not even 2, 3 pieces. And you can't determine what happened with that tire because 9 out of 10 times it was an impact or a low air drive. And he's like, well, I was in the middle of the lane, I had to get over, and that's why it busted that badly. But man, for the tire to go that bad, you must have driven for a while to do that. You say you've done tires for a little bit, so you kind of understand the concept on the tires. But
it's a common thing. We sold a lot of Toyos. Toyos is like no questions asked. Just fucking, they'll just replace it. If you pay the extra.
No, they won't. Not on LT. That's exactly what we're replacing. I'm a Toyo dealer, so that's exactly the tire that we're replacing today. Not on LT. On P metrics, yes. LT they do not. So if you got an LT, like if you got the Ford Ecoline van that requires a LT 245 75 16, it's $173 my cost for that tire. That because the guy just got it Saturday, I just told him go ahead and replace it. We're gonna eat up the cost. I'll try to fight out with my vendor and see if he'll give me some kind of credit towards it. But at the end of the day, I can't say that to customers like, hey, you just drove on low air pressure just because he got the tire Saturday. Because I'm more afraid of the impact that will do on my Google review.
It's better
it's gonna cost me more. It's just better to just eat up the 173 plus the labor and just go with it. Literally had to do it today, and my guy's looking at me like, Cash, that's a low air run tire. Like that is not, manufacturer's not gonna cover it. And I'm like, I'm covering it. Yeah. So it's one of those decisions that you got to make, man.
Yeah, and I had a few of those incidences. My boss was super cool when I was in high school because we did have some tire issues, but like he would just absorb the cost on everything. Oh, is it you had that pop, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of times you got to you just got to look at it, and sometimes shit happens. And sometimes you just got to eat up. It's just like doing cost of doing business, so like at the end of the day, you can spend money into advertising, or you can spend some of that money towards here and be like, hey, I just did advertisement, and this is now not a bad publicity. It's probably a good, maybe he'll recommend a couple guys like, hey man, I fucked up, and he probably will tell his buddies that he really fucked up and he knew what he did, because 9 out of 10 times you know what happened. And you just try to play it up. You play it dumb. Let's be honest.
You mount a tire wrong on a reverse mount rim. The guys do that too. They don't fucking pay attention to which.
Bro, we get big companies. We get big companies like Discount Tire, who's a national company. Yeah. We get at least one every 3 months. that they took custom wheels to them and they didn't know it needs to be reverse mount,
Mm-hmm.
and how to clip it. And
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
clipping it from the outside, they'll clip it from the inside, and they'll mess up the face of the wheel. And custom
Exactly.
wheels
Yeah.
is all about the face. Now
It's
you
all
got
about the face.
4 teeth marks all over the damn thing, like Chupacabra went at it,
Yeah,
and,
yeah. That was
and you're
funny.
like, like, hey,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do with this 22 inch that's all messed up?
You know, we had,
So
dude, we had some nice tire machines. Our tire machine claws were plastic. We had the hard plastic claws. So even if you did
well,
mess up on the mount, it never fucked
well, the
anything.
hot plastic is only on the if you're clamping from outside in
For
because
the,
it's a
for the
cover.
oh yeah, and then you have the other one that's the
Yeah,
yeah,
so the
yeah,
back, if you're pushing out, it's always metal.
yeah.
So the metal has to clamp in. But when you clamp it in on the turntables, it's a
Mm-hmm.
plastic cover that goes on those metal. So it doesn't matter if it's a Coates, if it's a Hunter, if it's a John Bean, if it's the Ranger, whatever. They all have the same setup. The
Yeah.
plastic is
But
if you clamping in.
then that's the
So
one thing too with like window tinners. Like when we mess up, a lot of times I always had the philosophy: if I mess something up, I'm gonna let the owner know, like, hey, by the way, I messed up your door panel, but I already called the dealership. I already ordered it. It's gonna be here in 2 days. I kind of always tried to be progressive. So by the time I tell the customer, you kind of holding yourself accountable for making mistakes. You know.
Well, I
Um,
mean, look, I've got away with a lot of stuff. Being honest, like I've had an
oh yeah.
older 11 Mercedes that had the Friddle back. That we're about to put the line in. We're about to put the. We're not even putting it in. We're cleaning it, and it cracks.
It cracks. Yeah. Yeah.
And first time it happened, oh, I freaked out. I'm like, what the fuck? And
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
at my prepper. I'm like, what did you do? He's like, Cash, I barely touched it, bro. Like I barely touched it. And I go look at it, and as I'm looking at it, I crack it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That car is very
Touching
pumped.
it.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
fun.
and I go to the customer. I'm like, hey, bro, this is 2011. I remember the car. It was 2011 Mercedes. I'm like, it's baked and it's breaking. And I'm like, here, I just touched this and watch. It breaks and it broke right in front of them. And
No
the
shit.
customer was so cool. He's like, hey, bro, oh, I understand. It's all cool. Just will the tin cover it? I'm like, yeah, we'll cover it. And he was cool with it.
Yeah.
And he didn't
Yeah.
even say, hey, replace it. I've had
It,
customers that will come in and they'll fake the shit, be like, oh, you damaged this. This wasn't like that. So now
oh yeah. 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 They
we
walk
got the
right to us.
Carlos mentality. Do a 360 pictures of everything before we start on it. Even though I got like 4 cameras in my base covering all angles,
Yeah. That's one thing I
just
learned
because we
early
have
on.
that happen.
One thing I learned early on with dealing with like nicer cars, that I always had to do a walk around inspection before anything, dash lights as well too, when you turn on, because that's one thing people don't really check, the dash lights when you go to turn on a car and you go to turn it, you pull it out and then you didn't realize the check engine light was on. So I always take note: check engine light, dents and scratches in the rims. I mean, if you stick to your script, especially being like, if you're an owner operator, I don't want to have to deal with like the customer being upset. Like, it's okay if you have a shop and it's like, okay, well, let the owner deal with that. But for me, I always kind of inspect everything, because with Tesla owners, it's kind of strange with Tesla owners. When they come and pick up their cars, they're looking for what's wrong with the car. I don't know if that's your experience with
I
Tesla.
just had that happen with me on a Y on last Friday. Okay,
Dude, yeah, they always look for what's wrong.
this girl's got like 3 cars done from me. Okay, she's back for a reason. Okay, that she likes the damn job. She has 2 Model Ys back to back that she
Yeah.
wants the front windshield done because we've done everything else. So she has one that she's picking up, the other she's gonna drop off. Well, the one we did first it wasn't a hair. You know how the Tesla has the little flake things, like especially for Model 3 in the back, they had the little lint that falls out. Well,
Oh,
I
on the
didn't
sides,
realize.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that 23 also do that in the front. So we didn't tape the side because we weren't aware of it, that it was gonna throw that little lint. There's a little lint. Like, here's a view to the upright, not all the way up to the corner, but like 1/4 down. I'm talking about a lint that me and my prepper didn't see.
Okay. Yeah, on the back window, correct?
No, on the front windshield.
Oh, the
like
front windshield,
windshield. Yeah, front windshield on a Model Y.
Yeah.
Like right there, like it's not, and she's like 5'4", bro. Like I'm 6 foot. It's not in my vision. There's no way hell that's in her vision. But she's looking, like you said, Model Y. I mean, Tesla customer, overlooking for it. So she goes like, "Oh, there's this little thing here." I was like, "Oh shit!" I go look at it. I'm like, "You're right." I'm like, "Ma'am, that's not here. That's a lint that Teslas are known for. I'm aware on the back. I wasn't aware on the front. You know, we can retape it or redo it." She's like, "Well, I'll take this one. Why don't you do the other one and just don't charge me for it?" I'm like, no. You're getting XR Plus ceramic. I will redo this bitch, and I'll redo it the right way. I'm not doing one free for the other one. I'm not. I'm like, you don't have to get the other one done. Let me keep this one. Let me turn on my steamer. I'm gonna get right on it. I'm gonna take it off, redo it, and if you like it, then we'll do the second car.
Oh man.
And that's literally what we did. This time around, we took it off. We let it dry a little bit. We taped up the sides. We put it back on. Boom. And she comes in and she looks at it again. And then we did the second Model Y.
Yeah.
And then same thing on the second Model Y. There's a little, like on the passenger side, little water like spot that will dry out. Like literally, it wasn't white. It wasn't clear. I mean, it was water. It was clear. It wasn't white. So I'm like, and I'm telling her, I'm like, "Ma'am, it takes a week or so for windshields to, evaporate because of the slip solution." She's like, "What about this one here?" I'm like, "If it doesn't go away, you bring it back. I will take care of it."
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. But yeah, like I see here, accountability. Accountability goes a long way, man. It builds your repetition.
It does.
For your business and for you, and customers will come back. I mean, this customer is coming back for some reason, and she gave me her second Y, and that's what I was telling my employees is like, "Hey, we redid this one, which cost us time and money, but the only reason she's having us do the second car, because she doesn't have to if she didn't like the work, is because we're doing a good job. She's just being over picky." And sometimes you deal with that.
It goes a long way. It does go a long way. Hey, Dave Williams, what's up, dude? Nice to see you, man. Or check in. I saw the comment, but yeah, it does go a long way. With
it goes a long way. Plus, ultimately, she did also make me raise my prices on all windshields, though. Just to let you know.
Well, you know what, dude? That's one of the things. Yeah, I know. I hear you. It's funny with Tesla customers. They're like, it's funny. Everyone kind of has, like, the people I work with, they don't like Tesla customers. They don't. Honestly, man, Teslas and the people who drive Teslas kind of changed our industry, because we never used to have to buy 60-inch rolls. So when Tesla came out, I really appreciate Tesla customers. I know they're shit to work with, but just work with them. They're paying you quality money, and like, I sub for a lot of my Tesla stores, so like every one of my Teslas, dude, I try to get it as clean, as tight as I possibly can. So I do get my occasional crazy person. I do weed them out quite a bit, but even I get some crazy people. It's like, I gotta
really,
yeah. I got like 2 specs on a Model X windshield at the very bottom. Then when I'm driving, I can kind of see it. I'm like, really? So I just redo it. I don't argue with people. I'm like, look, that's fine. I'll just redo it, because there's no point of arguing with a Tesla customer. I know a lot of people argue back and forth. It's just like you said.
It wasn't an argument. It's just I know if I got a BMW customer, I know he's most likely going to be a picky customer. And I hold my price firm with them, or I mark up slightly. Yeah. Same thing with the Volkswagens and Volvos. You're going to spend some extra time on it. You charge a little bit accordingly, but then you deal with that shit. I'm just saying, I wasn't saying to complain about it. I love it because she's bringing me more Teslas.
No, I didn't mean it in you necessarily that you complain. I'm just saying, like, my experience talking to other installers, like, they always bicker back and forth with like Tesla owners. Like, no, I'm not going to redo it because it can come out worse than the first time, because now we have glue to deal with and everything. But I really do appreciate those picky bastards, because they changed the industry, man. Everyone started to sell more 60-inch rolls, which helped out manufacturers, and then us as installers, we started to make real serious money with Model 3s. I mean,
Hell
all
yeah.
when they first
Model
came out,
3 or the Model Y with the
Well,
sunroof. Like,
when
if
Model
you want
3s
to,
came out, dude, when Model 3s came out, they were super easy to do, but I just was like, yeah, they're fucking super hard. We should charge through the roof. And it's kind of, we all universally, we're all like on that same, let's just fucking let's start charging $700-800 a car. Cause we didn't, I mean, at the time we weren't really charging, the industry wasn't charging that much, not in my area.
like Marco just says, hey, Tesla is making us money. Change your mindsets and be grateful. You
I
have
am
to be grateful.
I'm very grateful.
You
funny.
have to be grateful if you are doing the right practice.
Yeah.
If you are not doing the right practice, then you're not gonna be grateful. And I mean, I bitch and moan. I'm not bitching and moaning. I'm just sharing my experience to educate more people is how to, like, hey, some of the things that you deal with, and hopefully you avoid that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, avoiding that stuff, because one of the things too I've noticed that installers, man, as long as the customer gets like their car nicely, everything is wiped down streakless, like you're gonna have some streaks, but like if the inside is just glistening and shining and like there's no streaks on anything, like Cash, when I do customers' cars, my clients, I make the car look like no one was ever inside the car. Does that make sense?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like no one was there when you get your car. And when people see that everything is just glistening perfection, like, okay, they don't even look at the car. Even if they did look at their car, it's clean, but they're not going to look at it in so much detail. You know what I'm saying? Not that, if they did, you still would pass, but like, those little extra details, Cash, like a super shiny car, making sure the panels don't have the wet streaks on it. It goes a long way to weed out complaints. Because
Definitely.
Tesla customers, they're just, sometimes in my experience, they're looking for what's wrong with the car.
So one thing that's worked for me on that, and you kind of hit it right on the head as well too, is pre-inspection. And I don't care if I'm doing a single window or if I'm doing a full car, I will go out and pre-inspect the car with the customer, have them roll it halfway down, check the glass, have them roll it all the way down, all the way back up, each individual roll up. Look at the back window, look for contamination and other stuff there. And I will point that out with them right there. And I'll make it look like I'm letting them know, but not make it a big deal of it. So that way, when there is something that may come out, they are aware when we go look at it. Because I don't cash out my customers until they do a full walk around. Even when the customer's like, oh, it looks great. No, man, just walk around, make sure you check it, make sure it's cool. I literally had a customer a week ago, was a pain in the ass to deal with, and we're like, hey bro, like I'm gonna follow IWFC's rule on what quality check needs to be, and if that is not good with you, and I send them the link for it.
Oh, the ISWA, the international.
Yeah, whatever. So I was like, if that's not within your spec, let me know, and I won't do the work on it. We just started taking off your old tin because we had to take tin off. Yeah. And I'm like, I won't even charge you for any of that. And like, I've only taken 2 doors off. I'll stop right there, and I won't charge you for that. And I'll pull the car right out because I don't want you to come in with unreal expectation that I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm like, the only way, there is no perfect window. We can try to get as close as possible to it. The only way you're gonna get a perfect window is if it comes from the factory pre-made.
I always tell people, or if you're NASA, I put on a jumpsuit and I fucking go through a clean window room.
I'm not gonna go through all that, man. Honestly, I'm not gonna go through that. And the guy goes, and he's like, go ahead and do it. We do it. He walks through it with the spec, no problem. Takes the car. The next day he texts me, hey man, I see some bubbles and some stuff I'm not happy with. I was like, okay sir, no problem. Bring it in, let's look at it, and we can address it accordingly. And I told my guys, I'm like, hey guys, I'm not paying for this ticket. I'm putting this ticket to the side until this guy comes in and addresses. So that way my employees also know, like, especially when because I pay them by the ticket as well, is that, hey, this is what's going on. And they all already knew what the customer was. And here goes a week, and the customer hasn't come back. So today, before I came in, I texted him again. I'm like, hey sir, just checking when you want to bring in that car because we want to address this issue as soon as possible because either he's just being really picky about it or he's trying to get a free tint. And I'm not down with the free tint. I will take it off and give your money back. But I'm not gonna let somebody, BS, especially on a clean install, because we took our time on that guy because we knew he was gonna be a headache. But we took the client, and we
that's
did
one of
the
the
work
risks
we can.
Yeah, that's one of the risks. A lot of times too with customers, like especially Tesla people, they come with their car just covered in dirt, and it's like they expect this level of quality, and it's like, well, you brought your car like you drove through Death Valley, man, like a death storm. Because most of the times they come in super dirty, And
like I was telling you on the Pro Master today, that guy had smoke ass all over the damn car, like literally in the air, everywhere.
Well, to rewind back to what you said, because you're a shop owner, correct?
Yeah.
And you have guys, so you pay them per job by the car. Is what you're saying?
So I have one guy that's getting paid strictly percentage, one guy that's getting paid hourly and percentage.
Well, it is nice because what happens is what I notice. The guys who are like on salary, dude, they don't take any pride in their work. This is just my experience. It may vary.
Right. You're right.
They don't take any pride in their work. They're just going through motions and they're just letting out work that's mediocre. But when you have guys on commission or like guys who get paid piecework, they hold themselves accountable. It's kind of like a self-regulating system. Like they're going to make sure I don't want to have to redo that window because that's going to cost me money, And I don't even know where I was going with that, but it is.
No, but your point is right. Like paying somebody on their work gives them two incentives. Okay, one, like you said, it holds them more accountable as an owner and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing or doing better. But as an installer, like when I hire these guys, I'm like, look, you're getting paid for the work you do. Compared to the guy next to you, if he's slow, if he's gonna do 2 cars and you can turn on 4 cars, why am I gonna pay you both the same? Okay, just like you're the champion. So why you get a trophy and not the guy that was 54th place. You both are great tenters, but you took more detail into your work. And I'm not trying to put down number 54. I'm just saying is if you are up here, everybody's not gonna get a trophy, a participant trophy. As an employee, you have now potential to make your own paycheck according to what you can do, how fast you can learn, how better you can get it, and how many cars you can turn out. That don't mean that you turn out shitty cars, because I will check the cars before I bring the customer in to check the car. I will hold you accountable for it. For my guys that I've got now with me, I literally went with them for a long period of time where even when they wasted film or made mistakes, I didn't charge them for it. Now, I told them, like, hey, it's been this much time. You guys got all the training. Now, if you guys are not learning on the stuff I'm giving you or giving you advice on, that's on you. I've been doing this for 3 years, but I guarantee you, I have 6 years worth of experience, because when I come home, I'm spending another 4 to 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours watching videos, posts, all this other shit, trying to figure out, like, hey, watch out for Dodge Rams, watch out for the the C-Class Mercedes, watch out for this, watch out for that, or how to perfect this tool, how much tool I have. I literally have like thousands of dollars worth of tools, and I can guarantee you, and there's a lot of tinters here, no disrespect, but I guarantee you, out of half of you guys on here, my shop in the last 3 years have more tools than you guys do. Just because I'm looking to invest for a long term, and I'm trying every damn tool, and every tool I got, I have 2 or 3 of.
Yeah.
Give you an example, the Fusion tool, the hybrid, that's a $37 a squeegee.
Oh, you mean the Dehydra?
No, not the Dehydra, the Fusion hybrid.
Oh, okay. The hybrid. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the hybrid. That's a $37 squeegee. I have 4 of them. I like using it. I have 4 of them. $37.
Yeah.
Tell me another tinter in here that has 4 of those.
Well,
know,
that you do make a lot of sense. Well, Cash, that comes with you did it pretty fast because you've only been doing it for 3 years. A lot of times, what I notice, a lot of veteran guys, they don't like to have tools on hand, and they stick to their old little squeegees. Like, it's funny because a lot of times I like to have a fresh set of tools. At least, man, like I'm pretty spoiled. I really hooked myself up with tools. I'm always switching out cards, even if they just need to be sanded. I just throw it out, because I have to have pristine tools. I spend quite a bit of money on my tools. Yeah, quite a bit. But, it's just one of those things that costs money, Cash, to have these tools on hand. And a lot of times installers, we're not the most financial savvy guys, But I've learned a lot this 16 years. I know how to manage them.
One thing I will tell everybody is that, guys, if you invest in your tools, in yourself, that investment is going to double, triple, quadruple very soon. It's all about the investment. So for the guys that use the same squeegee that they've been using for 5 years, and then now they're not getting a perfection on their tin, because you got guys that are in the industry for years, and when you go to competition, they were nowhere near some of these guys that are killing it. Why? Because these guys, when you got Rodney that's coming out with different tools, they're willing to spend the money and get that tool and try that tool out and see what it's going to do. And they'll put in the tools that works for them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying go spend money like crazy. I'm saying if you have a business plan, to make money, you have to spend money. And if you're not willing to spend money, then you're not going to make money. It's same thing with, give you an example, and I'm not a Republican or Democrat party here, but the reason Donald Trump succeeded so well and failed in a whole bunch of stuff, still made a lot of money, because he started with $100 million. Okay, if somebody comes out with a perfect credit score, like right now, for me to do this show is to help people improve their credit score, because I personally seen what credit score in America does for you. It can either fuck you, or it can really reward you.
Okay, well, that's interesting, because you did tell me your show is geared towards financials. Like I'm a independent, small one-person shop, right? Like business. I was able to buy my house, self-employed. And I had to learn how to do that, because no one really told me how to keep track of your finances as a independent tinner, which, but I hired a CPA back in 2015, and he kind of you just have to pay the money, dude. Just pay the $2,000.
There.
Just pay, because
get the professional. Just like you are the professional at window tinting, you now got to understand. Somebody saying, hey, I can tint this. Why are you charging me this so and so much to tint this car when the material doesn't cost that much? Mm-hmm. Now look at same thing on bookkeeping or taxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can go do it yourself, but the professional is there and he's charging more money for a reason. Because just like you're going to tint it at a certain quality, he's going to do your taxes at a certain quality. Or he's going to be able to give you business advice, because that's his profession. That is his specialty. And just like your specialty is tint. And
I'm a small...
You forget that.
Yeah, and I'm a small one-man team, So, but he structured everything, started an LLC S Corp, and then over the years I was able to show income, and then in 2017 I had a few years of income, and I bought my house. So
awesome.
And then, so from there, in self-employed, which is kind of cool, it's kind of window tinters. We're not financially savvy, but my wife's pretty organized. We do the profit first system. Have you heard of that?
The what?
Profit first system. It's kind of like.
It might be blacklisted. He dropped as soon as he mentioned it a second time. But that does bring.
There it goes.
Did you lose power, or what happened?
No, I've got a phone call. A phone call came in.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll take care of that. But no, we do the profit system, Profit First. I don't know if you heard of that. It's like a bucket system. I don't know.
Okay.
It works out. You have 4 different accounts, and then one's a tax account, an operating account, what it costs to operate your business. Then you have then you have your profit account, which we only do 1% profit. I know it seems weird. And then I have the layout. I do have the layout what our system is, but it works out because at the end of the year we have all the money to pay our taxes, and then operating costs, what it costs me to kind of, everything the month, and then we have our savings, and then our tax account. So the way we do it, every week after the deposits, we kind of separate everything in 4 different accounts. I don't know. That's the way we kind of do it. It seems to everything is. I don't really check my accounts. I can buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I mean, that's a beautiful setup right there. You have a really well set up, because you just hit it on the head. Is that I don't have to look at my account to buy stuff because it's well established.
And then we save our cash flow. So I use everything. I put everything on a cashback credit card. So at the end of the month, I just pay it off, or even before the end of the month, I'll just pay it off. So then I get cash back for the cash I would have already been spending with my debit card, but I just use the credit card. So I kind of can get mileage to like WFCTs. That's a free plane because we've been using the credit. You kind of have to use check your credit cards for all that cash offers. Johnny, or Cash, all this stuff. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, you no, but look, I mean, the whole point of you sharing, and this is what I was talking about, is like, I might know it, but there might be somebody listening or watching that may not know, and it may help them. Just like with a lot of these guys and I gotta give a shout out to all the YouTubers and all the live guys, even including Nick and a lot of other people. Marco, with a lot of his training videos that he does, like, hey, how to take out a gasket, how to do this, that. These guys, somebody may be watching them and they're like, shit, I do that every day, I know that. But there might be 1 or 2 person that may be watching that may get that help, and that makes a big difference.
QuickBooks self-employed, dude, that takes care of mileage, transactions, and it's only $15 a month, and then I just send that to my CPA, and he just does what he does with it. But it keeps me organized.
The great thing with your CPA, he should have a login to your QuickBooks as your CPA, so that way he can go in and he can look at all the transaction and question you, hey, Danny, what's this? So that way he can categorize it right for you. And then on top of that, by now he should also have all these different categories for everything that you usually use your money for, because it usually takes him a year or 2 to learn what you're doing and what category it needs to go in, so that way you can have the best tax benefit for yourself.
Yeah, and then for all these young guys, window tinters, start yourself an IRA on Robinhood. Just start an IRA and just have it automatic, where you just put that money away. Because I know too many tinters who don't save any money, and they get to my age and they don't got shit saved, and they don't have nothing. They don't have a work van to do their side work. It's kind of like they didn't. I mean, we're blessed with the skill that we can make pretty good money decently, and there's no reason why you can't have your own system set up where you can kind of be more independent. I know this is probably not a good conversation for the window tinter that works for a shop.
No,
giving him instructions on how to leave your shop.
No, leave. No, and I mean this with the and if my guy's watching, he'll tell you. We just had this conversation yesterday, and we had a conversation yesterday. Like, hey man, he went from hourly and commission to just commission, and we had a little slow time. And one of the guys was down, and he's like, "Hey, I was expecting a little bit more money." And we went over, and he's like, "Hey, I have a question on it." I'm like, "No problem," because I have everything on a spreadsheet. I'm like, "Here's the tickets, here's the money. Where's the difference?" Oh, I was just assuming I would have got more, and we were like, hey, all the tickets are here, and we use TinWiz, and he was watching through TinWiz because that's how he sees what jobs are coming in when they clocked in and clocked out. But at the end of the conversation was like, hey, listen, if you have a better opportunity for you and your family, please take that, because I'm gonna encourage you. Just like I had to work my way up, I want all my guys in the long run, either they're with me to succeed, or they need to go succeed on their own. I
Yeah,
don't want
that's
anybody any
oh
ill
man,
will,
this is
or anybody not having the ability to succeed and grow.
yeah.
One thing, what I do with my guys, and I don't know if Ram's on here. He's my guy. He's been with me for 11 years. Is that, Cash, you're a fucking boss. Everyone
Yeah, yeah.
gotta get it.
Um,
But even Ram, he's been with me for 11 years, but he has a growth every year, man. He came in as a tire installer. Now he's my supervisor for my back. But I treat him like one of my brothers, and I treat him like with due respect, because he's earned that due respect. You
Yeah.
know, but it's a growth. Even because he's been with me for 11 years doesn't mean he stops growing. His pay needs to keep on growing, because he's growing my business.
Yeah.
He's holding my business down. That needs to grow.
Oh.
Now I have another couple guys that left and they did their own thing. Don't call me for financial advice, because they know I do financial stuff, and I know a decent amount of stuff to help them out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, I don't. One of the biggest thing I have, and which I'm very proud of, and it may sound like I'm tooting my own horn here, but 80% of my ex-employees are either still connected with me or my customers.
Oh,
To have your employees as your customers continuously, like my lineman technician I let go last year, he's come back 3 times to buy different tires, and even got 10 from me.
No shit. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
since that, and he was with me for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, but he wanted another opportunity to grow. He thought it was better, and he took it. It didn't work out. But at the same time, no hard feeling, man. It's like, hey, whatever you need help on, I'm gonna help you out on.
Yeah. And
Now,
that's
one
really
advice-
big. That's big of you. That's big for you to say that, because a lot of shop owners like, fuck this guy, you know, like I've had that happen to me where they were little. It's weird. There's plenty of cars for everyone to tint. I don't know why you get so.
There's
sore.
only one shop I don't like in Atlanta, and that's because they fucked me. And that's the only reason. When you do shady shit with me, I don't. That's the only thing where I'm gonna be fucked up with.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned, but a few years back I was a wholesaler, so I know like most shops, because one way or another I sold them tires or wheels. Now I wasn't in the tin side, but on the tire side I know almost every shop in Atlanta, or know of them. But I don't have ill will for anybody except that one shop that screwed me, and that's because they literally screwed me, and I don't accept that, and I don't hold lightly on that stuff. But same thing in here, in this group or in the other group or any of this stuff, is my thing is, man, I'm gonna be here to. I'm at an age where I've learned my lessons.
Yeah.
If I can help somebody else out and not have them make the same mistake, that gives me peace of mind, and hopefully gives me better space when I go up above into the next world. But ultimately, you got to come to peace with yourself.
Yeah.
If you come to peace with yourself, you're gonna be a lot better person ultimately.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm finding myself at. And it took me a time to get to here. I wasn't always like this. It took me time to grow, to depend on my employees, trust on my employees, to let them do what they need to do. I'm still a control freak. I'm still OCD, but at the same time, I'm learning to grow, because if I don't grow, I limit my own self, and it only hurts me. And I'm just saying that as a speech, man. That's literally work ethic and tested material that has worked. That's why I'm going so hard on the tin side, because I see the potential. I'm going hard at it because I know in 5 years, I'm gonna be a freaking beast in the tin world. I guarantee you. If I'm still around it, knock on wood. If I'm still around this world in 5 years, I will be known like in the tin industry. It's not gonna be a question, because that's where my mentality is, that I'm gonna make a good footprint and I'm gonna leave a good imprint on it, and it's all gonna be positive, man. I mean, 99% is all I can do. There's nothing 100%. There's always gonna be somebody that doesn't like you for whatever reason.
Yeah, and that is true. But you're on the track to do that for sure. You know, one thing, because like I'm coming from an installer's point of view, and you're a shop owner. But one thing if I were to give an installer advice is, dude, save 20% of your money. Act like you don't. Save 20% because there's going to be a time where you're going to need to borrow money from yourself to do something that you want to do, or whatever it is. Just save your money. Save 20% or even just 10%, but just save it. Get Acorns. Acorns is a good app. It just takes care of it, rounds off to the nearest dollar and invests it. And I mean, in a year, I made like $3,000. I had like $3,000 in just change that was rounded up and then invested. And it was just on autopilot, Just save your money as an installer, because then you can invest in your tools and in yourself, and
Definitely.
then
One
you
of the
get your money back.
I will throw in there for you guys, and I see this more and more, especially with Tinder for a Cause, is that, guys, one thing you need to also look out for is, God forbid something happens to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's gonna take care of your family? So
yeah.
I will tell you, whether you get any kind of life insurance, get life insurance, and if you can get an IUL life insurance, that is the best way to do it, because that is you not only getting life insurance, but you're also getting an investing plan that will grow your money. And God forbid something happens to you tomorrow, your family, your house, whatever they need to suffice, they have some kind of protection, because your saving is only going to last for so long, and it's not going to pay for the mortgage for a year. You need to be at a point where you should be set up to, if you pass away, God forbid, again, I'm not wishing this on anybody, but if you pass away right now, you should have your house paid for. So that way your spouse, your girlfriend, your kids, they don't go homeless. You should have a saving for them to at least be able to be sufficient for at least 6 months to a year, so they can establish something for themselves and get on a routine where they can suffice for themselves. And if you can do bigger than that, it's even better.
No, and then not only that, I have life insurance, and you have to get it while you're young, because like my life insurance is only $60 a month, and it's like a $3 million coverage, So it's like, probably shouldn't say that loud, but yeah, life insurance is the way to go.
I don't know if I ever showed this, but I've actually taken a course on this, because
it's the inflation, compensate for inflation.
But this is old shit. But I've actually taken a course because I was overweight. I couldn't get life insurance, and I had to figure out the system from inside, and I did. But what I want to show is, if you're 25 years old and you want a $500,000 policy, it's $31. But if you are 45 years old, same policy is 106, and it's harder for you to qualify for that policy.
Oh, dude, yeah, it is, and it's kind of intrusive. I mean,
and here's the funny fact, guys. You're gonna laugh about it. Males, it costs you more. Females, it costs you less, because females don't do stupid shit like males do. Females actually last longer than guys do.
And then one thing with the life, exactly. And one thing that you don't know about the life insurance is they show up to your house and they blood test you, drug test you. Dude, they
guys, I've gone through whole workbooks. I mean, I'm telling you, I ran into some stuff some years ago, and I came into that fundamental, like, hey man, my family is not protected. And God forbid something happens, what's gonna happen with my family? And this was one of those things, like having a 401k, having some kind of like you said, a Roth saving, or IRA or Acorn, or any of these vessels that you can invest. The more you have, the better it is.
And a lot of times too, you look at all the offers that like Acorn or Robinhood has a thing where you get 50 cents cash back if you get you use your card at Chevron, or if you're buying groceries, you get cash back, and it's it adds up by the end of the year. I'll get like 1 week worth of groceries for free because I'm using the apps and the Robinhood stuff. And then my American Express, I love that thing. They just pay it off at the end of the month.
So for the business, if you're a business owner, or if you're independent and you have a S corp, you should have one of these. It costs us $695 a year, but it pays 10 times more or if not more than that. Because
Yeah,
if you utilize their benefits,
correctly.
if you utilize their points, you get paid crazy amount of stuff just off of this one card.
Yeah, and that's what you got to look at what your credit cards offer. Some are 2% cash back, some are 1%.
3%, 5%.
Yeah.
I book for Vegas, 5% points. 5% points with this.
Yeah.
And
that's that's one of the reasons why I don't open up a shop, because like I like to have money in the bank. I don't want to, I like looking at it, my man.
Like we'll have this conversation afterwards.
Yeah,
We'll have this conversation. But what I told you the other day. So guys, if you're still on here, here's the one thing that Danny he's contemplating on. He's contemplating on opening up a shop and eventually training people, which he's getting way too many requests, and he keeps on shutting it down. I'm gonna encourage Danny to go ahead and take that bull by the horn and freaking ride that damn thing, because he can be a great trainer. Look, man, he's got great knowledge. We took an hour show and turned it into a 2-hour show right here.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
time flew by. And this is one of the best show I had, man.
Most
fun show awesome. I've had.
So, man. Yeah, time whoa, shit, we're almost at 2 hours.
We are.
It didn't seem like it. I feel
it didn't seem like it.
Yeah, very talkative.
And that's the thing, man. So I really do appreciate it, man. And look, you got Marco here, and he can get great pointers as a trainer. Yeah. And I'm telling you, bro, like you need to take that jump. You need to take that jump and do it.
Well, you know what, Cash? There's a few people out there that I have trained. I've given them pointers, and they're really good tenors. They probably won't mention it, but
bro,
they know you know who you are. You know who you are,
bro. I'm telling you, just by listening, talking to you now a couple times, and just by the few things I saw, I'm telling you, you will kill it. And the business model already, from what you just told me today, bro, you already have the business mentality. The only thing you don't have is your own location and your own setup to get out the subcontract. Subcontract means you're sharing the money with somebody else. You're not subcontracting. You're taking the whole pie yourself, man.
That's
the next stage for you is gonna be able to get extra employee and expand on that. Like that's down the line. But ultimately, my goal right now. My goal is not to have one tent shop. My goal is to have multiple tent shops, but they all be great tent shops that we can really be proud of and everybody feeds.
Definitely.
One thing I talk about when I hire with people, because I recently just hired a couple of people, is that, man, everybody that's in my shop, they're my extended family. And their family is part of my family, because when I'm watching out for my shop, I'm not only looking out for my family, but I'm looking out for everybody's family, because all those mouths has to be fed by that business. And that business has to do well. I have to have a long-term plan for it to do well, so that way everybody doesn't have to worry about it. And one other thing I will mention, which you kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, is that tenters make good money. But here's the thing is, we spend the money without thinking about it, especially when we're busy, and we struggle when you're in the slow season. Learn to have a 12-month budget. Write that shit down. Don't I know about it. No, write that shit down. If you don't write it down, you're never, ever, ever gonna get on top of it.
Oh yeah.
And if you budget for 12 months, you will never struggle. No matter if you have 110 week or a month. If you budget it right, you can write the whole slow season like a champ, because now you've already budgeted for it.
Yeah, exactly. I write stuff down. I have a little notebook, a little journal that I keep with me that I write down my ideas and my little goals for the day and stuff. It's good.
Billy ain't in the house. What's up, Billy? How you doing, bro? Hopefully you're doing Billy? Better. Yeah, he was in the hospital a couple weeks ago or so.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he's got some weird stuff going on, man. On top of that, he's having to take care of a whole bunch of kids all over again. Man. And I wish Billy really best of luck on a lot of stuff, man. He's dealing with a lot of stuff. And Billy, I think you're coming out to the WFCT, right? If you're still on here.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I lost it. Yeah, but yeah, awesome show. I don't know if we covered what you wanted to cover. I had a list.
No,
of
bro,
some
you
stuff.
you did so well. If you got anything else you want to cover, let's cover it up. Let's wrap it up. But man,
Save your money, guys. Save your money. 10%, 20%. Set up the IRAs. I can't express that enough. If you're a young guy coming into the industry, set up an IRA and save your money. I mean, they raised the maximum that you can put. I think it was $2,000 a year. I think now you can put like $3,000. But either way, you got to save it, because by the time you're 30, the compound interest. I mean, you know that.
Compound interest is the main
compound
thing.
Interest, yeah. Especially with our young guys. If I could tell myself 10, 13 years ago, start an IRA, save 10, 20%, and get used to paying your taxes, because it doesn't go away. Just so let you guys know, pay your taxes, because they will fucking take your, they'll wipe you out, dude. So, and I know it's a big thing in the industry with window tinners.
One other thing I'm going to show you, since you mentioned saving young compared to saving
older. Oh my gosh, yeah.
If you start young, you don't have to save that much. Oh shit, I'm trying to get in the front of the camera. But you can see the guy that started at 25, he's got same amount of money compared to a guy that started later, but he's invested a lot more months, a lot more time to equal the same amount of money if you do compound interest. Yeah. Compound interest works for itself, man. Like once you start that train up, it just keeps on. That's the whole point. That's the word compound. It just keeps on compounding.
And that's one of my regrets, because I started like 3 years ago now, but I started one for my kids, each one of them. So when they turn 18, they can either start a business or go to school. But that's one thing, is just
IULs for your kids, because IUL you can borrow from your IUL if you start for your kids, because you said they're under 6. If you get them the right IUL after 11 years, you can take that money and as a loan, but you don't have to pay yourself back, because you're taking the loan from yourself. A lot of people don't realize a lot of this life insurance money, you can use that life insurance money while you're still alive. You don't have to die for it. But IUL is the ones that you want to hit up, and you want to search with somebody local. If you need a reference, man, I have people that they're nationwide. They can come out and give free quotations and look at whatever plan you have.
I think that's about a year.
I'm not even.
You need to have it for at least a year or two to build up the.
Well, so most IULs take they build enough money for what it is usually 7 to 11 years. After 11 years,
that's
you're now have enough money in there that it will grow by itself. But if you keep on putting on it, you become a multimillionaire by the time you retire. A lot of IULs, when you start early for the kids, by the time they get to the college years, they don't have to go get a student loan. They can get a loan from their IUL, which is loan from your own self, which you don't have to pay back. You can if you want to, because it'll go right back into your IUL. But you can pay for your education right out of there. It's a vessel that a lot of people can utilize and use, and people don't know it. All these rich people, they all got life insurance. All of these rich people.
No, multiple life insurance.
And multiple
you can have multiple.
So the next thing you go on top of that is they have riders. They call it riders, which is add-on features. And then they have what they call it
like cash life insurance, right?
No, cash life insurance, but they call riders, and then they call livable expenses. Like, so God forbid if you have a stroke and you're not able to do some stuff, they have money for you to kind of get extra therapy, extra experiments and shit to get you back well, because life with your health insurance, they have a cap on what they were willing to do. So health insurance will only give you 1 or 2 therapy a month, okay? Where if you have one of these plans, you can utilize hundreds or millions of dollars worth of extra benefits to get you back to where you need to be.
I have heard of that.
There's a lot of little stuff that, man, that these things that add up. But the basic, man, first thing foremost, like, you got a house, right?
Yeah.
You should have life insurance that if your house is not paid off, if God forbid something happens to you tomorrow, you have more than enough money to pay off the whole house. So that way, and then you should have a will that dictates what happens with what, because otherwise the state will take your shit.
Yeah. We learned that the hard way with my dad. My mom had to fight the state for a couple houses.
Exactly.
So that's why I have life insurance, because I went through that shit with my dad. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that to my kids.
Bro,
Yeah,
like
it was a lot of money.
If you got what you said you got, and I'm not gonna mention that number, but that is phenomenal, bro. I'm so happy to hear that you have that number. That is fucking phenomenal, bro. And I wish you best of health and long life. But at the same time, you say you have 3 little ones. You have to be mentally prepared that, hey, my little ones are my life, and I want to make sure that they have a great life.
Well, we live like we're gonna live forever, and that's not true. We do have a date where our time comes, and
Exactly.
that's where I'm like, I want to make sure that I leave something behind. But it's kind of crazy when you're going through the whole life insurance process. It does make you question, you start to, like your expiration date. It's a little more real, and then especially when they're taking the blood and everything, and then you know where you're at health. Luckily, I was pretty good. I never really had any health issues, but it was intense because they take your blood and your urine, and they ask you to do cocaine or weed. And I don't do any drugs or drink, so it's not a big deal. But like, it is nerve-wracking to know your cholesterol levels and all that stuff, your CDL or your triglycerides and stuff. And you'll start
believe
to...
me, I went through a lot of it, and unfortunately,
Glad
you're
it's
healthy. I wasn't
years
healthy, so I had to go through some loops, and that's one of the reasons why I jumped into this course I
had
did
high
years ago. Bro, diabetes, freaking
yeah.
overweight. My
dude.
family has heart problem.
Yeah.
My both parents have diabetes. So
Oh, yeah, and they
like
look
I
into
tell the
your
same thing with my
veins, too.
kids. Man, you're 85% most likely to get diabetes. So control your health, control your stuff early, lose weight. Losing weight is the hardest thing for me, man. With everything else, losing weight is the biggest struggle I do with my life. And now I'm more concentrated on losing weight because I want to live. I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there for their graduations, their weddings, and hopefully some grandkids. You know, we all do. We want to see our hard work, being utilized, and ourselves to be able to utilize. You don't want to be that guy that worked 7 days a week and cooks at work, and then 2 weeks later everybody forgot about you.
Yeah, I would get made fun of because I'd take my vitamins. Like I'd have my little because I have my week's worth. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and when I used to work with guys, like, oh, you're taking your vitamins? Like, well, yeah, I had my lunch, been taking vitamins.
Hey, bro,
And it's
you're taking care of yourself. You're taking care of yourself. You're doing a lot better than I am, man.
But now
I'm trying to get to that.
Now you just take AG1. It's just one scoop, has 85 different minerals and vitamins. It's pretty. I don't know, dude. I tried to stay on top of that. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. That's one thing with window tinters. We don't drink water, man. And I drink. I always keep my canteen.
My hand will go weird like this when I don't drink enough water, especially my left hand. I have to keep on reminding myself: eat banana, and drink water. If you're getting too hot, coconut water, especially fresh coconut water, is super cool for your body. Internally, it will cool you down. Especially if you get nosebleeds and stuff. Coconut water, fresh coconut water, bro.
It is
the best thing out there in the world. Nothing's better than that.
I take. Well, they use that for they used to use that for supplementation for IVs because the hydration from. But I use electrolytes. I have this electrolyte supplement, so it's kind of like drinking 100 ounces of water and you're just drinking 32 ounces. So it kind of supplements that. Yeah, because you get unhealthy pretty quick tinning. You keep tinning and you're sweating, and then you just skip lunch, and then you're only eating at night, and then eventually a long term of that, you start to fucking really feel the effects.
Yeah, you get the belly, you get the high cholesterol, you get the diabetes, you get all the stuff that we don't want. But
we gotta hold ourselves accountable. Yeah, that's a whole other side, is keeping yourself healthy as a tinner. That's another show.
That's another show.
That's another show. But yeah, Cash,
Well,
I don't
brother,
know. I mean, we could do another one some other time. But thank you for having
I
me.
think we need to do that. I think we need
Yeah.
to continue and do another one. This was a great show, man. We talked about a lot of stuff. Hopefully, we helped somebody out and somebody learned some stuff. And it was supposed to be more focused on you, and we could just kind of did the whole
Yeah.
overall thing, which was really
Yeah.
awesome, man. So like, I really appreciate you. Again, congratulations for being the winner from WFR. That was all
Oh,
your hard work.
yeah.
And,
Thank
and,
you.
and you kicked ass, man. And I look
20,
forward to watching you at the
yeah.
WFCT. Hopefully, I'll
20,
get to videotape you and maybe
yeah.
pick up something that I can implement on my side.
Yeah. For sure.
Marco is in here. He's helped me out with a lot of different stuff. I picked up a lot of stuff from Marco,
Yeah.
as well as a whole
Marco's
bunch
a
of
good
other
guy.
people. But Marco's a great trainer, and if he thinks
He
you can
is.
do great, man, I guarantee you got the right person behind you right there saying that, hey, get
Yeah.
on it, man.
I've been asked. It's been quite a bit. It's kind of not. It's
I'm-
gotten to the point where I
I'm-
can't ignore it anymore. I had to.
Bro, I'm telling you, I gave you the numbers yesterday. We can sit down. We can do more numbers, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well,
If it gets to the point where you're like, hey, man, I don't know about the financial. I'm like one of those, like, hey, man, if you need a business guy to come behind you and take the business risk with somebody like your scale, bro, I would love. And this is how much I'm willing to say it. I would take on your freaking saying, hey, listen, if you're in my shop and running the shop, I know I'm gonna make money.
yeah.
That's where I believe. But I think and you sound like you are financially secure enough and you're well-rounded and well financially educated that you should be able to do it. And one thing, like I said, subcontract mean that you're splitting that ticket with somebody.
Yeah. That's where I'm at right now, for the most part. And yeah, that's another thing too.
Just look at it that way, man. I mean, when you're subbing with somebody, that means somebody's taking some of that pie where you can have the whole pie. Now, if you don't have enough connections and you need that sub, that's where it helps. But for where you at, and at the level you at, man, you would kill it, Danny. Hands down, you would kill it.
I'm holding myself back for the most part, and I think that's all the case with all of us. We all hold ourselves back.
Yeah, I think you're being too cautious. I've been in that position, and sometimes that is not good for us. And sometimes it is outside people looking in that can encourage you. I'm not saying everybody has the best intention for you, but I honestly think, bro, you would kill it. Going and doing what you plan on doing, and then on top of that, doing the training, because I think there's a lot of people that would benefit from your training. Not will you only benefit as a business owner, but a lot of people will benefit and grow as installers.
Yeah, we'll have some Danny Munoz black belt guys. Huh?
Hell yeah! Like shit,
Like
I may want to come and take a course and fresh myself and be like, hey, listen,
Get your black belt.
Come visit the family in Southern California, because I do have cousins down there. So it's not like I don't have family down there. But like I told you, I'm from North Cali, so I'm from Sacramento, so it's only a 4-hour drive up top.
It's not too bad. Yeah, you can come get your black belt, and then we can pass out black belts.
I've done that. I've done to Sacramento, to Vegas, for SEMA.
Yeah.
I haven't been in LA in a while. And I don't like LA because my first speeding ticket was visiting LA. Off the 9-9 and 5 split. We actually took the 9-9 back instead of the 5.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a speed trap as soon as the split happens in a small little town. I mean, this happened ages ago, but that's all they're there for. And I had to drive 4 hours back for my speeding ticket because he clocked me at 21 over. And oh my God, another story, man.
So yeah, it's California Highway Patrol. They're like that. But yeah, if anyone, my Facebook, I'm not on there too often, but my IG, Honest Tint. If you want to get a hold of me, that's the best way.
What is it?
Honest Tint on Instagram. Yeah,
Honest Tint. I gotta get on there, man.
Yeah, Honest Tint. I do have my Facebook, but I check it periodically. But sorry if I haven't responded, guys. I know, and I do have a few Facebooks, by the way. I have like 2. So if you're messaging one of them, I know one of them I am on there, I don't have it on my phone, man. It's on my laptop. So whenever I use my laptop, I kind of catch up on it.
There's his
Yeah.
IG, guys.
Yeah,
Honest Tint.
Tint. If you want to try to get a hold of me, it's Honest Tint. I know. I apologize if I don't get to the messages on Facebook.
I'm following, man. So
Yeah, I seen yours. I followed you back.
I'm following, man. I'm definitely look. He's got Model 3s and he's got Teslas right on there. So just like we were talking about.
It's a little
Guys,
more insight. Yeah.
Thank you so much for
thank
hanging
you,
around, man. We went over 2 hours. This is the longest one I've done.
Jesus
I
Christ!
can't believe it.
Yeah.
But Danny, thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure talking to you today. Bro.
Likewise, Cash. It was nice.
A lot. I learned a lot. Today.
I did too. I learned a lot.
And it was
so
fun.
so much more to cover too. That was just scratching the surface. Maybe I'll make a list. Be a little more.
Yeah,
organized.
maybe we need to do that, man. We definitely need to redo a second episode of this or something.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I'm
you
down.
coming on, man.
Yeah, likewise, Cash. It was fun. But yeah,
all right, brother.
Have a good night. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you stayed through the long 2 hours.
If you didn't and you want to catch up later on, you can.
Yeah.
Because like I said, a lot of people catch on later on. But hey, appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
If you actually watch this whole 2 hour plus, it's worth it, man. But congratulations on making it this far.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
Alrighty,
brother.
Kev.
You have a great night, man. Thank you.
You too, buddy. No problem.